Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Eliana Kernodle. Today we're talking about a report from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression on free speech on college campuses. Joining me to tell us more about this is the Northeast Regional Editor for the Center Square, Kristen Smith. Kristen, tell me a little bit about the Pennsylvania schools that are on this report. How did they fare?
Not well at all. So the state's average grade for its speech climate is F, which is not unlike the rest of the country. In fact, that's the national average for what we should be expecting. There was 257 schools on this report, and 15 of those were in Pennsylvania. And we ranged from 91, which was at Gettysburg College, to as low as 243, which was Drexel University. Also on there was Penn State, the main campus, that got 109. Carnegie Mellon got at 98. So we're not, like I said, if our highest ranking is 91, that kind of gives you an indication of where we stand on our free speech. Now, what's important to note is that when we're talking about free speech here, FIRE is they really advocate for all kinds of speech. It's not just a right or left leaning. They think that, for example, that the protests against Israel's actions in Gaza after Hamas attacked their country, they think that those protests should have been allowed. But at the same time, they think that conservative speakers have a right to speak on campus. So these are the kind of issues that are influencing the grades in this report. Pennsylvania has had some struggles over the last couple of years at the University of Pittsburgh, for example, with right-wing speakers being canceled and forced out because of those particular leanings. Of course, now we're reporting this in the backdrop of Charlie Kirk's assassination in Utah. He was on a college campus, and he is very well known for his debate style, where he talks to people either of all political orientations and very respectfully answers their questions about what he believes, and they challenge him. So this is the kind of environment that this report has come out in. And reasonably speaking, it seems like if you're in FIRE's camp, then you think Pennsylvania has a long way to go.
So then what schools were the best on their list?
Perhaps surprisingly, the best school is in California. It's Claremont McKenna College. They were in the top 10 on nearly every student survey component, and that's a very rare achievement for this report. They have a green light rating from FIRE since 2018. They're also, along with Vanderbilt University, they're one of the only two schools to adopt the Chicago Principles and official position of neutrality in 2020. So that shows their dedication to really preserving free speech rights for everyone on campus and to give a platform to those no matter what their political leanings are. Purdue University, the University of Chicago, Michigan Technological University, and the University of Colorado Boulder also round out the top 5. So as you can tell, Pennsylvania is not in any of those, and they're quite scattered across the country, although they're mostly on the West Coast. So that might not surprise a lot of people, considering our oldest institutions on the East Coast often come under fire for these issues.
So then what were some of the worst?
Perhaps unsurprisingly, Harvard University is one of the worst, although Barnard College in New York City, which is affiliated with Columbia University, they replaced them in the top spot. They are criticized for the obvious things, that their situation is, quote unquote, especially stark given the free speech rights that students have on campus. Columbia was one of the sites of the pro-Palestinian encampments and protests that happened earlier this year and drew a lot of media attention. Then there was Indiana University, the University of Washington, and Northeastern University. They were also among the worst. So these, again, are more East Coast leaning, although obviously the University of Washington is the Pacific Northwest. But you can see the trend here that there seems to be an East Coast, West Coast divide. Not that that holds true in every case, but that's what the report is sort of bringing to light.
Well, Kristen, thank you for your insights on this story. You can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.